Welcome to Austin Sports Rewind podcast.
Hey guys, my name is Chloe Alcorta. I'm the graduating class of 2026 at Austin High School.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jkaideon Mitchell. I am the class of 2027 at Valle High School.
So I think we're going to kick it off here, starting with the UIL Soccer State Championship for both girls and boys 5A and 6A, if you want to get started with that.
Yeah. So it says Prosper beat Austin. Prosper beat Austin Westlake 1-0 in the girls 6A championship. Which honestly, in my opinion, I didn't think that would happen. Westlake the whole season for soccer at least has been a pretty good competition for all the schools. What do you think about that?
So the Westlake Chaps, they made school history. This was their first time going to state for soccer. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough for the title, but this win was also school history for Prosper. It was the school's first ever state title. And the head coach had an interview and he stated, "We've had some really great teams. Some teams probably deserve to be down here, but it's so good for them to get out here in the first place. So I'm so proud of our school and our kids that we could do this." And
Yes,
Olivia
that's
Hest
great.
was awarded MVP for Prosper with 3 shots and scoring 1 goal.
3 shots and scoring 1 goal. That's honestly just just as someone who's looking in, a spectator looking in, it's super hard to score 1 shot and then to be able to score three is honestly that's amazing. Congratulations to them.
Yeah. And then for the boys, 6A game, Katy Seven Lakes versus Flower Mound Louisville. Katy Seven Lakes won their second in a row state championship, so it's very impressive. And they beat
Very.
Flower Mound 2-1 in overtime.
That's also, I mean, these schools have been doing the best they can. 2-1, that's wow. Um, sorry guys, I'm just trying to. So 4 shots, 1 goal. Oh, okay. Aiden Morrison, that's what we were on, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Aiden Morrison, awarded MVP for 1 goal, 4 shots, 1 goal. That's the head coach said is extremely difficult, but Aiden Morrison is in a set piece situation. Couldn't have asked for a better end to this high school experience. That's from the coach. That's from the head coach. I'm actually now that I'm looking at it, I'm hoping to see more from them next season.
Yeah, so we can move on to 5A now. So for the girls 5A, Frisco Wakeland, they boys and girls both made an appearance in soccer state championships. So Frisco Wakeland took over the game to Colleyville Heritage, winning 3-2 in the 5A girls championship. Wakeland scored 3 goals, 2 of which being from sophomore forward Audrey Gilbert. She also received season MVP, and the other goal was scored by senior midfielder and forward Anna Carrera. Audrey said in an interview that she would love to play college ball at Texas A&M.
Ooh, those are some very big goals. Texas A&M is a good school. Actually from College Station, so I might be a little biased here, but A&M, in my own biased opinion, is the best at everything. So good luck to her. Um,
And for the boys, Midlothian beat Frisco Wakeland. So sorry, my bad. Frisco Wakeland was
yeah,
in the championship for 5A girls and boys. Unfortunately, Midlothian beat the boys 3-1 in the 5A boys championship, and Aiden Hildreth received season MVP with an amazing 5 shots and 1 goal with 1 assist. So the head coach had an interview, and if you want to go ahead and speak on that.
the head coach said, "We have an awesome group of kids from a great community that gives a lot of support. Plans for next year are to have fun for this week and roll up our sleeves and get back and figure out what it takes to get back, if possible. What happened best was we have really, really good players, but a team that plays very, very hard as a team. They play for each other, and they have a lot of grit and a lot of grind, and they never give up.
But yeah, it sounds like based off what we've talked about and some interviews and statistics, for both 5A and 6A girls and boys, these championships were really eventful, and they're definitely teams that I think we should keep our eye on next year.
Yeah, so I don't know. Austin High School is a 5A um is a 5A school if I'm not mistaken, right?
I think we're actually 6A, just
Oh, so
above.
you guys see more of the yeah, so you guys see more Westlake, Lake Travis, Drip, or
Yeah.
okay, yeah, that makes sense. What schools are you expecting to be at the top next season for soccer? 6A.
Well, not really to be biased, but Austin High did beat the Westlake girls this season. So I'm expecting a lot from them next year. Along with Westlake, they had a really strong season, obviously, making it to the championship. I think their game next year should be really interesting. Austin High had there's a lot of up and coming rising freshmen and sophomores, to name a few. I know Kate Loudamy, Annabelle Coster, Altiana Segala, class of 2026. They're all really impressive players with a lot of grit and determination. So I'm really excited to see that happen. For boys, I'm expecting Bowie because I believe they had a pretty impressive season as well. But yeah, what about you?
Yeah, Bowie season. Yeah, like you said, Bowie season was great. They absolutely I had the I guess displeasure to see them absolutely dominate our school on the fields. Um, but Bowie seems really good. I'm also gonna say possibly Lake Travis.
Yeah.
Um, but Lake Travis hasn't, in my opinion, soccer, they haven't been given the best that they could. Just looking at their previous standings and everything. But that's my take on it.
Yeah, and I think all these 6A and 5A, even 4A, which we're not really speaking about, boys and girls, I think they all have a really strong work ethic. And I think they just kind of need to want it more and just put in a little hard work. We saw a lot from every team, and I think it's going to be really interesting to see how everything works out next season as we have a lot of seniors graduating and we're going to have incoming freshmen. It's just going to be really exciting to see how it plays out.
Yes, this is going to be really exciting. And on another topic, Dripping Spring beats State Power Lake Travis baseball. Opinion on that? I haven't seen a lot from Drip this season,
I
but
haven't
beating Lake
seen a lot
Travis
either in
is
baseball. Um, so Lake Travis was, as stated, extremely powerful this season. They've had a heck of a season, lots of games. I think they're at or near the top of their district, if not the top. So big upset from Drip. Congratulations to them. 3-0 this past Thursday. Really strong game from pitchers Cooper Rummel and Taylor Tracy. I'd say they really held a huge part in that game, and I think they were one of the driving factors leading them towards this win. Opinions on that?
Um, that honestly, yeah, that's so I'm so proud. Actually, so proud anybody could beat Lake Travis. And again, that just means that there's some up and coming people who may not have seen the most play time in the beginning of the season, but they're really on their grind to get towards the top, and they're working harder. And it's really good to see some new teams out here.
Yeah, and so game two is coming up this Friday. Drip will advance. It's going to be really exciting to see how that plays out. But also, Vista Ridge Rangers beat the Manor Mustangs. Manor, I don't know if you've been keeping up with them, but Manor has been struggling a bit this season with a 0-11 record in district and 1-23 overall, unfortunately staying in the 8th district. They have a game coming up, I believe tonight, 4:16 Tuesday against Round Rock Westlake, who are number 5 in the district. It's Maynard's home game. I assume they're hoping to redeem themselves. I hope they can. But I think they have a lot to look forward to this upcoming season or for what's left of this season. It's just going to be, again, exciting to see how this plays out. I mean, you never know. Anything can happen. It's a really exciting thing about baseball,
Yeah,
like all sports.
they Maynard has got some serious competition though. I know that. Westlake, not Westlake, Westwood, Round Rock has been doing pretty good this season with an overall of 15 in all, 7 district and 1 outside. Um, sorry, with the rank of number 5 in their district, districts 4, 4, 4, and 4. Um, and honestly, I'm praying for Maynard, but it seems like it seems like they could redeem themselves with a little more, morale. Maybe I know sometimes after going on a losing streak, it's really hard to just come back, but I believe they can do it.
Yeah, and while we're kind of in the area back to soccer, I think we can touch back on the Glen Grizzly Bears. They really showed up and showed out this season, making school history in soccer semifinals. Unfortunately, they fell just short of the win to Frisco. The Glen Grizzly Bears actually stand number 1 in their district, going 13-0-1 and 29-1-1 overall. So props to them for that. Tough loss, but I know they're going to bounce back next year, and I'm really excited to see what they do.
That's actually very good. I don't see a lot of Glenn. That's Leander. But congrats to them. It's really hard to be number 1 in any districts, especially in the Austin area. The schools are very competitive, and for a school like that to just be able to completely dominate on the field is that has to be just amazing for the team. Very big congratulations to the players and the coaches there.
Yeah. And while we're still on soccer, to kind of wrap up soccer a little bit, Joseph Kwon, class of 24, he's a Bowie soccer player. He recently made a verbal commit to Wesleyan University where he's going to play Division 3 soccer.
Whoa, congratulations on that. It's very hard to get into it's very hard to get any scholarship or to be able to commit to any school or division with sports. They're very competitive. So while it's not D1 or D2, D3 is still a really good place to be at fresh out of high school. And who knows, maybe he'll transfer, but
Yeah.
hey, God knows.
And I'd say he also had he heavily contributed to Bowie's success this season. They went first in their district with a 15-0-1 in district and 22-1-2 overall. So props to them for that because soccer, especially in the 6A district, from what I've seen, was super competitive this year.
Bowie has been straight just taking it over. So again a very big congratulations to them. Um, Now on to basketball. Elsie Law from Saldo High School gets offered from Utah State for basketball. Now, I don't know about you guys, but Utah State is a very good school, in my opinion, in sports. And that's to be able to get an offer from a school like Utah. That's just a very big congratulations to her.
Yeah. And I was doing a little more research. Elsie is actually a dual sport athlete. She has very impressive stats in both basketball and volleyball. She looks like she plays for her school and a club team.
We all know the club players. They're really dedicated. They're really into it. It's always awesome to see someone be able to not only go to college for at least half paid for, but for free sometimes, and get to play the sport that they love, one of the sports that they love. So big congratulations to LC Law.
And I think we can also talk about, I think a lot of people have seen this. It's been circulating social media, and it was a very highly anticipated commitment. But Cordonva, he's a four-star defensive lineman out of Lake Travis High School. He just recently committed to USC, where he will play Division One football. This kid is a beast. He's 6'5", 225 pounds. He's a defensive lineman. He wears the number 99, and he quoted, well, Cordova chose USC over Texas A&M and Oregon State, along with some really impressive offers. He quoted, "You go to USC to play in the league. That's been a goal of mine ever since I can
Yeah,
remember, and my commitment is just a step forward to accomplishing my goal."
yeah, USC is a good school. Honestly, again, trying to give my unbiased, but over A&M is I don't know. I don't know. But very big congratulations. Um Actually, if we're gonna look, he's gotten a lot of offers. Boston, California. This guy has been getting a lot of attention. So for him to choose USC, it's good that he knows what he wants to do. He knows he wants to go pro, obviously. And very big congratulations to this guy.
And yeah, he's been a talk. It's kind of moving on to football a little bit. All of these, I feel like a lot of these 6A and 5A teams have had a lot of verbal commits recently. And so I'm really interested to see how this 2024 football season's going to play out, because I know for Austin High and for a lot of other 6A teams that I've looked into, they've had a hefty amount of seniors on their varsity team. So it's going to be really interesting to see how these teams move forward, losing a significant amount of their players.
Yeah, the I can tell you personally, Del Valle, we've lost a good amount, but we still have some great players like Coleman Patman. He's a cornerback. And this guy right here, he's a D1 recruit, 5-star rating, for rivals, and he's going places. So we have one more year with him before he's off, and we also have Cannell Hodges, and he plays running back. And again, this guy is just amazing on the field, and we can't wait to see more from him. He's also class of 2025, so we have him for one more year. So the next couple years, I know it personally. These schools are going to be losing a lot of their talent, but there's a lot of upcoming freshmen that I'm seeing, even from like Bowie of all schools, that that could really do something for the team.
And yeah, along with Austin High, some of our class of 25 who are really impressive. John Latham, QB, he and Wilder Davenport, class of 24, they both play QB. They kind of alternated starting spots. And it's going to be really interesting to see John Latham kind of take over this senior year and kind of take charge of this team. But really impressive running back that I think a lot of colleges need to get their eyes on, Bryson Batts. He is a fast dude. He's really shifty. He was a big point scorer in Austin High's football team this year, and just seeing all these players, seeing like the seniors leave and incoming freshmen come up, it's really interesting to see how these teams are kind of evolving and seeing the differences that each class could like have an effect on the team almost.
That's yeah, these players honestly leaving and coming in, and there'll be an effect, but honestly, it comes down to the coaches, how the coaches handle all their talent, and how the coaches discover the hidden talents that some players may not be showing. This next season with realignment, although I know our district didn't change, I am looking forward to seeing some new people on the field.
And as well as a lot of schools have their spring game coming up, so it's going to be really exciting to see our teams in action, just seeing what they're cooking up for the fall semester almost. And like a lot of the sophomore class, I've noticed VAR Austin's social media platform that covers Austin high school sports. A lot of the sophomores, the super soft list, you have Reese Wise, who was their Westlake starting QB as a sophomore. Insane stats, already has offers from a lot of schools. Quinn Murphy, QB, sophomore Regents offers. It's really exciting to see how these sophomores are rising. We've got um, a lot of really powerful players at Austin High as well that I can speak for. Reed Childers is a running back. We have Logan Davis as a QB. Just seeing how these players are going to improve throughout the years from our head coach, Bernard Riley, and a lot of our assistant coaches. It's going to be really exciting how they can kind of slowly piece everything together to see what they can show off in the fall season.
Yeah, I know we're all super excited for spring ball over here. Spring ball is where you really all the people who think, oh, this last season wasn't really my season. Well, spring ball right now, this is where you come and you just dominate and you figure out which position you really want to do, and you just got to lock into it and grow. Um, but on another topic, um, actually Friday. Um, our sorry, our Cardinal girls softball beat Westlake. Don't quote me. Yeah, we beat Westlake on Friday softball, which to me was a very big shock. We're already on the route to district playoffs. Um, so that was very big. Is there any Austin news?
I don't know that much about Austin High softball, but I definitely want to look into it. I know we have some really talented players on our team with an amazing coach, so I'm excited to see how that season kind of plays out. But yeah, again, how you said Del Valle beating Westlake, anytime you beat one of those like power schools in our 6A district, you have Westlake Austin or Austin Westlake, like Travis, Dripping Springs, really coming out and beating all of them can prove a lot for your team since they do have a larger population than, let's say, Austin High does because they are right over the edge to be in 6A. So just coming out and beating those schools can really put you on the map, and it really gives you hope to look forward to see what you're going to see further in the season or for the season ahead. But we can
That's
also move on to baseball. We saw Lake Travis's Gavin McCollough, class of 2024, make a verbal commit to play at McClellan baseball. Gavin, along with Elsie Law, is a dual sport athlete where he also holds a spot as an outside linebacker for Lake Travis.
again, it's very good to be able to see a dual sport athlete committing to a single sport in a college. Some of his highlights, I'm looking at some of his highlights, and they're actually this guy. He's locked in and he's been training and he's ready. So I'm so proud of him to be able to go to school and be able to play what he wants, his sport, uh, and yeah.
Is there anything else you want to touch deeper in? I know with spring ball coming up, football is, I know in Austin and just Texas as a whole, football season is kind of what friends, family, their school, your district, just a lot of people are looking forward to. I know we could dive more into that, or with baseball season still going on, softball coming up. There's a lot more we could touch on if you're wanting to look more into that.
Yeah, so who do you predict? What do you predict um, for some of the next coming up spring football seasons? Uh, what do you think is going to come out of this? What do you think is going to happen with the teams? You think with all the seniors gone, some of the teams will just be lost, I guess, or you think that they'll come back harder than they did last season with fresh meat, fresh blood?
I think that spring ball and just like 7-on-7, we can talk about that. That's a really good look into what they're going to do. And spring ball does give the juniors time to kind of understand the leadership role that they're going to have to portray as the seniors left, kind of helping the sophomore and freshmen and incoming juniors all work together as a team to really um, get the outcome that they're seeking for, which everyone is seeking for, the district championship, state championship, just all those titles. I think it's a really good opportunity for these incoming junior or incoming seniors to gain some leadership to help guide their team. And so I'm thinking
Yeah.
who I'm going to see. I'm actually not sure what it's going to look like coming out on top. I know Westlake is losing a lot of their really impressive seniors. They're losing, I want to say, Jack Kaiser. I'm trying to think who else, but same with Lake Travis and Dripping Springs and just all those big schools. It's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out. And along with, I don't know if you looked into any of the district stuff, but Anderson dropped into 5A. So I'm thinking they're going to have a pretty powerful season now that they dropped districts. I know you can probably agree with this as Del Valle and Austin High kind of have a pretty good rivalry. Our games are always pretty good, but the 6A district, I can confidently say, is much more competitive than 5A as they have a bigger population with more kids to play, and you can see a lot more diversity in their players. So I'm really interested to see how Anderson is going to play in the 5A district compared to the 6A.
Yeah, actually, I don't know how well Anderson is gonna do in the 5A district. Just looking at LBJ, for example,
Yeah.
they have a really strong team. They're number one in the district. Um, and I don't know, schools like that, LBJ, Sam Houston, they have with the return, I don't think that it'll be as easy as some people may think. Oh, we'll just drop into 5A, or we got realigned to 5A. It's going to be a little easier. I don't really think it'll be a little easier. I think if anything, it'll be more challenging because there is a lot more athletes with 6A in 5A, most of the time it's on school population. I know for Del Valle, we're gonna stay at 6A as long as we only have one high school. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing how they do next football season. This is gonna be really entertaining.
Yeah. And do you ever look in a little bit to the 7-on-7 season with football?
So yeah, actually 7-on-7, because one of our quarterbacks, he's a sophomore, Alex Marcatoni. He has been really good on the 7-on-7 fields this year. I personally haven't been able to go to the games, but from what I've heard, 7-on-7 for Del Valle has been looking very grim, if we're gonna be honest. But it's looking very bright for a couple of the players who are really giving their all. Cannell Hodges, Alex Marcatoni. Um, this is 7-on-7 again for skill players. It's just another football season, and that's amazing.
And yeah, I personally covered a lot of Austin High 7-on-7 in the 2023 season. And a leading factor in our sevens team is we had tons of seniors that were making huge plays for our team. We had Wilder Davenport as QB, Anthony Rodriguez at running back. Um, we had Christian Rector as a receiver. Again, touching back on our football season, Christian Rector, I believe, was a leading scorer on our team, scoring at least, I believe it was 1 to 2 touchdowns a game. So that's really impressive just as an individual player scoring that. But I believe in our game against Del Valle on senior night, I believe he was 1 touchdown away from scoring or from setting a school record. But I
Yeah,
think going into our
right.
7-on-7 season, it's going to be really interesting to see it without all those seniors because I know typically for Austin High, our 7-on-7 team is typically made up of seniors. So to see what those juniors can do is going to be really interesting. I think a lot of our rising sophomores, John Burns, Logan Davis, Michael Friday, Reed Childers, Jamie Arnold, a lot of those players I think are going to make really big plays throughout the 7-on-7 season. And 7-on-7 is really exciting because you get to see just kind of a little insight into what the fall season is going to look like. And I'm really excited to see how that plays out.
Yeah, I want to take it back to football. I was there at Nelson during the Austin High's senior night, and Austin High does show a lot of talents, but
A
again, with
lot of
all the seniors
potential.
gone, they were pardon?
And a lot of potential I feel like we're seeing from a lot of these 6A schools.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of potential. Like honestly, if Aikens, I know this is gonna sound crazy, but Aikens High School, if they could, I don't know, maybe a new head coach or some more dedicated players, I think Aikens really could have a chance. There's Aikens has been a very again, not really a threat towards any of the 6A schools, but they have some pretty good talents. Like the fullback Charles Edgston, I think that's how you say his name. Um, that guy on the field shows a lot of potential. And Dylan Cagle, that guy, he's a running back. If if certain things like the O line, or line on defense could show more motivation, I think they could really make a difference, make a change. Because our Del Valle Aikens at Del Valle High School game, it was super close, and I know it was unexpected because we usually destroy Aikens, but 14-22, and the score was close for most of the game. Um, so honestly, they may be improving. We may be getting worse. I think I see improvement, and I can't wait to see what Akins is going to give for spring ball for these couple games.
And something I think that we should touch on is super sophomores, who we saw a lot from this year. So I know we've talked a little bit about Austin High and Austin Westlake, but we can touch more on that. But someone who I saw a lot of potential from was Cooper Reed. He's a wide receiver at Tripping Springs. I know he was a super soft and he made a lot of really big plays this season. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that works out. Um, Reese Wise, Lawson Grimes out of Austin Westlake. I know they had some big plays, and I know I touched on some of the Austin High players, but do you want to go a little more into some sophomore potential that you're seeing out of Del Valle?
Yeah. Again, back on the Alex Marcatoni. That guy, he didn't get to play this season for varsity due to some UIL. I'm pretty sure it was some UIL regulations. He moved schools, but he wears number 9, 6'1", class of 2026. This guy Alex is cold. I cannot wait to see everything that he's gonna do for the fall season and for spring ball. Now that this guy can play, I think he's gonna just pop out and do the best he can. Now there's another one, James Boyd, and he's a wide receiver. I don't know, his name gets passed around a lot. James Boyd is also someone who didn't get a lot of play time last year, but this year it seems like he's coming up and he knows what he wants to do. And James Boyd, honestly, on the field is insane. Um, to this guy, he has more motivation, more practice. This guy is strong to be the very tall, narrow guy that he is at wide receiver, obviously. Um, there's one more sophomore. What's his name? Ernie. We call him Ernie, but he's a sophomore. He plays defensive line. He's defense and offensive line. And this guy going both sides, he's never, in my opinion, he's never shown any weakness or tiredness. I can really appreciate his work ethic as well.
And yeah, do you also want to dive into a little bit of the coaches for some of these 6A schools?
Oh yeah, we can do a lot of coaches.
So I know Austin High's head coach, Bernard Riley, this 2024 season is going to be his, I want to say his third season with Austin High, yes. Um, the 2022 season was his debut. We saw a lot from him. It was really exciting because new coach, always exciting to see the kind of plays they're going to whip out and just really show their vision of football and how they think it should be gone about. He played ball in college. I believe he also played a little bit of pro ball. So I think he has a really good grasp of the idea of football and what needs to be executed to have a successful season. So I'm really excited to see what he's gonna do this season. And do you want to talk about Del Valle's coach a little bit?
Yeah, I can. So Del Valley's head coach, Coach Patman. I know he's a fairly new coach. This this guy, if you hear me talking about Coleman Patman, you'll hear me talking about Coach Todd Patman a lot. He's our head coach, and he's been completely redirecting the course of our football program. Some of the things that we were doing last football season, he's scrapping it out with the old and with the new. He has new worth ethic, and I don't know if you know this, but his children are very, very, very talented. If you know anything about, sorry, Desmond Patman, he has a son in the NFL, and again, his other son Coleman, D1 recruit, and he has a daughter that goes to Tech, not Texas Tech. Actually, yeah, I think Texas Tech. Don't quote me on that one; I might be wrong. But his entire family, his children, they've been really talented, and I think if you can coach up your children to be very good at their sport, you can definitely train a bunch of students who just want to be able to make it to pro. And I think he's bringing a lot more worth ethic to the table. He's bringing a lot more motivation. Again, like last week, we had fundraiser celebrations where the groups who won the most money had burgers, had double cheeseburgers from Sonic because it's across the street from our school. But they've been doing a lot, like all the GPAs and grades. If you get all A's, they're giving us rewards like Gatorades and whatnot. I think he really knows where we should be for football, and I think he knows how to get us there, and he's just trying to get us there. Um, that's my view on it.
And so yeah, back to Bernard Riley, Austin High's head coach. I was looking a little more into it. So he played at USC in college, and he signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So yeah, he did have his fair share of college and pro ball. So like you said with your coach, I think he really has his eye on the prize, and he's hoping for a strong season this year. And Westlake's head coach, Tony Salazar, I believe he's pretty new to Westlake's football program. I know he's super talented, and I know he is seeking a bright future for his team as they had how they typically do a really successful season. So I'm excited to see anything new that he has cooking up for this season.
Yeah, Westlake has been doing really good. Um, and from my information, um, I'm fairly new to the Austin area, only being here a year. Westlake, the lakes, the waters, anything that has to do with water, like Drip, Westlake, Lake Travis. They've been doing pretty well, and if we want to pick up to Lake Travis's head coach Hank Carter, he has 13 years of teaching and coaching, but I didn't really see anything for pro ball or anything. So I'm just wondering where the strategy comes from and how he's coaching his athletes.
Yeah, and Dripping's head coach, Galen Zimmerman, um, I believe he's been the Drip head coach for some time now, but he, I believe he has played football college, if I'm not mistaken. Let me make sure. Actually, I'm not sure that he did, but this was Dripping Springs' first or second year in 6A, and they came out with a bang. They put up a fight against Westlake and Lake Travis, which I don't know about you, but I did not really expect that happening because you hear about Westlake and Lake Travis having these huge, powerful schools. I know Westlake and Lake Travis always have quite the rivalry, the Battle of the Lakes. People show up and show out for that game. So it's really interesting to see Dripping Springs kind of enter that little duo to make it a trio to kind of bring among a rivalry of the three schools. So seeing Dripping Springs as a rising 6A contender, it's really interesting to see how they really just dove into this first or second season. I'm not entirely sure with a bang, and it was really interesting to see what they brought to the table in this new district.
Yeah, Westlake Drip and Lake Travis, they've been Dripping Springs was not expecting anything, honestly. But Westlake and Lake Travis, I do know that a lot of them have been playing football their entire lives, private trainers and all of that good stuff. And with the new introduction of Dripping Springs, I'm really wondering who's going to be at the top. We know there's very high chances that all three of them are going to be the top three, but nobody really knows. It's anyone's game.
And that's the really interesting thing about high school sports. It's not like coaches are really recruiting. I mean, kind of, there's some under the cover recruiting that may be going on and some stuff that we may not know about. But whereas in college ball, the recruiting can have a really big impact on the way your team shows out. Like UIL, I know A&M has a pretty stacked roster as their terms of UIL go to quite an extent. But in high school, it's anyone's game. You're not selecting your players. It's kind of just coaching up your players to the best they can be. And you never know. That's the thing about high school sports. You never know because there's no recruiting. Anything could happen, and it's always anyone's game.
Right. And our district, in 6A Region 4, our district is very competitive with Austin, Aikens, Bowie, Lake Travis, Westlake, Del Valley, and Dripping Springs. These schools are very competitive, and it's sometimes really hard to be able to just scope what's going to happen. So again, you're completely correct on the fact that nobody can really say. Um, but in my unbiased opinion, I hope Aikens doesn't take over Del Valley next season.
Yeah, I'm just really excited to see how not necessarily football, but all these teams grow as players are coming and leaving, and maybe even new coaching staff coming and leaving. A new season means a new playbook. It's just really interesting to see how these games evolve as the years goes on.
Yes, and volleyball wise,
Oh yeah.
football and volleyball have the same seasons. How it seems from football is not the same from volleyball. The teams, they totally do turnarounds and backflips and gotchas and now you see me's. Volleyball has been really engaging in the fact that you don't really know who's gonna win and you don't know what's gonna happen, but something always happens. Um, I'm looking forward to see a lot of volleyball next season. It's always very entertaining to see like Dripping Springs and Austin Aikens going against each other.
Yeah. Trying to think. I know Austin High, no bias, they were extremely powerful this season in volleyball, and truly, they always are. Some rising players that I definitely think you want to keep an eye on. They were super soft. So you have um, Claire Nelson, super tall. I think 6 foot, maybe over Riley Malloy. Same with her, 6 foot, maybe over Chloe Kelly. All very, very powerful super softs that are going to be really interesting to see in the involvement of Austin High's volleyball, along with Tripping Springs. I think they have one of the number one players in the state, Henley Anderson, over 6 foot. I believe she's a hitter. These players are all making really powerful plays on the court, and it's going to be really interesting because I know we definitely have some seniors that are graduating. We had Campbell Bartley, who's committed. I'm not entirely sure where, but I know she's committed. So just like with all these players, seeing players come and go, it's really interesting just to see how the game plays out.
Yeah, and I know for Del Valley, we had some really great seniors. Almost our entire volleyball team was composed of seniors. And with all of them going out, like Anastasia Hall, uh, she brought a lot of talent to our volleyball team, and it's sad to see her go. But I'm really looking forward to seeing some of the up and coming sophomores and freshmen coming into varsity, maybe possibly. Um, I know we didn't have the best season for volleyball, but it's always been either super close or just super fun to watch. Um, yeah, I know we lost to Austin, or yeah, we lost to Austin 3-0, but trust, we will be making a comeback. We will be making a comeback.
Yeah, trying to think what else we should talk about or if we should leave it at this. I think we covered a lot, and I think we got all the really great points out, and I think it was really exciting to see both of our opinions as to how each of these sports is going to come out in the 2024 seasons.
Yeah, I just had one more question. Do you know a lot of tennis? Because the tennis
I
season is actually very interesting.
I don't know a whole lot about tennis. I know personally, I played tennis my freshman year for my athletic credit, but we definitely saw a lot of really impressive sophomores, juniors, and seniors that I've know have been playing for a while. So I don't know much about tennis, but I definitely want to look more into that this season.
Yeah, I know Bowie. I'm also a multi-sport athlete. I play tennis. Bowie it has been in the season and or for our fall season, for our team season, and can't wait to see more from the tennises. But if we can leave it at that, that's where I'm at. Today was very productive, very interesting to talk about what we think our schools are gonna do and certain predictions and congratulations to athletes.
Yeah. So, what do you think about maybe closing it off here? I think we made some really good points.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that.
All right. Yeah, this was a really exciting opportunity. I hope that we get to do something like this again. We got a lot of points out, got prospect for the 24th season. I think we covered a lot and really dug deeper into these coaches and these players and what we're hoping to see next season.
Yeah, it's been very good to meet you. Sorry, it's been very great to meet you. I've been fighting off a migraine since I got hit at 200 miles per hour with a ball earlier. So you have to excuse my lack of presence, metaphorically. today.
Yeah, and it was really great to meet you too. I think having this boy-girl banter was really exciting to see different perspectives. All right, I think we can close it out here. I am Chloe Alcorta, and
I am Jkaideon Mitchell, and
thanks for
it's
watching.
been
Come back next time.